What is going on, guys? It's Everett here, and in this video we're going to go over single leg deadlifts. Now, I love this movement for building up strength and size in the hamstrings, and this is actually going to be part of, I don't want to call it a new series, but a new set of videos where I'm going to pick probably one movement or maybe one muscle group that has one or two movements associated with it, and we're going to go through that movement in detail. So it's going to go beyond just technique. What does the movement look like and how to do it safely, but really down to tips and tricks to grow your muscles better and get stronger. So again, it's going to be a little bit more advanced. I'll make an entire separate playlist for these type of videos. And if you want to see more of these type of videos, subscribe and hit the notification bell so that way you know when they come up. And if you have an idea for a movement you want me to cover, leave a comment in the comment description. At the time of making this video, I'm still a small channel, so I'll probably see your comment and I might just make the video. In addition to this, if you want programs to use these movements within, check out the link in the description. My website is down there and I've got pre-built programs, really inexpensive, that you can grab and start training with. So single leg kettlebell deadlifts are amazing. I love using them, especially when I've taken a break from being in the gym and I'm trying to even out the left and right side of my body and build up a lot of hamstring size and strength. Now, when it comes to doing a movement, like I said, there's the technique, what's the movement look like, and then there's actually tips and tricks that I like to teach my clients to really get the most benefit from just doing the movement. So the way I typically put this is, if you see two people in the gym, say doing a normal barbell deadlift, and over months and weeks, one of them tends to get a lot stronger and a lot bigger. Obviously, there are a lot of factors, what they're eating, how they're sleeping, but usually it's not just the movement they're doing, their technique, it's what's happening internally, how they're actually contracting their muscles that makes the difference over time. So again, I want to teach you not just how to do the movement right, but actually how to use your muscles to get that strength and size. So let's hop into it. So first off, you can use any type of weight, but I really like using a kettlebell. The way it pulls, it really activates the hamstring really nicely. And you can also see I'm holding on to a squat rack here. Now, people do this without holding on to something, and that's more for balance. Definitely hold on to something when you do this movement to start. We want to get better and better at doing this movement right and push heavier and heavier weights for hamstring strength and size. If you want to do a couple weeks of just balance training, you can do that after like 30 to 60 days, but start off with definitely holding on to something. So as the name implies, this is a deadlift, so you should treat it almost the exact same as a normal barbell deadlift. We're gonna have a slightly straighter knee, but the big key here is having even pressure throughout your entire foot and having even symmetrical hips. That's what most people mess up when it comes from moving from a normal deadlift to a single leg deadlift. So really focus on even hips and even foot pressure. So the movement in itself isn't too difficult. Once again, even hips, we're going to slightly bend the knee and lean forward and touch right at your toes, or maybe right in front of your toes, depending on your leg and your arm length. I would stick with 3 sets of 8 to 12 reps per side. Don't go too heavy on the first few workouts you do these in, because your hamstring, especially your weaker side, will become extremely sore. So now we'll go over a couple common faults, because that's where most people mess this movement up, and they actually start to cause mobility and biomechanic issues from doing the movement wrong, in addition to not really getting as much strength and size in their hamstrings as they deserve. Now, the first problem I see is rotating to one side or uneven hips, as we talked about. This is really common when you're not holding on to something, which is why I say to train for at least 30 to 60 days in holding onto something for balance. And so you can just see I'm just rotating my entire torso. This will be caused by a lack of hip rotation as well, really tight adductors or weak glutes. You'll also see this happen when people don't bend their knee enough, because again, we're taxing hamstring flexibility even more. So really focus on keeping your hips level and even, like you're doing a normal barbell deadlift. Now, some people, especially if you have tighter hamstrings and you're taller, you might not be able to touch the ground with the deadlift. So you might have to put like a small box or a couple plates on the ground and limit your range of motion, or you will start to rotate and lean to one side. The second major fault I see is the knee dropping inside the body. So again, this usually has to do something with a lack of hip rotation, maybe chronically tight adductors or very flat feet. So you want to keep the knee in line with the middle toes and stretch the hamstring, all right? So once again, you might have to limit your overall range of motion. Definitely hold on to something, but if you need to pop out your iPhone and take a quick video, make sure the knee is staying in line with the toes. It's not dropping inside of the body. If it does, again, you're gonna end up with really, really tight hamstrings, possibly some inside the knee pain, and you're really just not gonna, again, get the strength and the size of the hamstrings you deserve. You'll do this movement once or twice a week for 30 days, and you really won't get stronger or bigger hamstrings, and you'll wonder why. It's because you're really not contracting your hamstrings, you're just going through the motion. The final cue we'll cover is a little subtle, but it's timing your knee bend right. So if you don't time that knee bend right, it'll affect the cues we've already covered for your hips and your knee. It'll also affect your ability to get a good hamstring contraction, which over time and reps and sets will decrease your growth and your strength. So people typically do two things here. And this is the first thing they do, is they bend the hip a lot, and then right at the end of the movement, they do a little knee bend. So first off, this is really gonna tax your hamstrings, and if you lack that hamstring mobility, you're gonna get real sore, and this is most likely a cause for then rotating the hips unevenly. So you don't wanna bend the hips a lot and the knee a little right at the end. The next thing people do is they know they need to bend their knee, so they start with the knee bend and then they just kind of lean forward and do a lot of hips. So not the worst thing. This is, in my opinion, a little safer, but you're still not gonna get a good hamstring contraction, and you're gonna cheat yourself from potential gains over time. What we ideally wanna see is bending the hip and the knee at the same time, and then a nice even knee bend throughout the entire movement. So again, knee and hip at the same time, and then make sure you're bending the knee slightly throughout the entire way down. All right, guys, as always, thank you so much for watching. And before you hop off, hit the like button if you like the video and the movement. It's what it's there for. It really does help the channel out and helps other people who don't know about this movement or aren't doing it right find the video, which helps them. If you want to further support the channel, again, this isn't exercising, this is training. So you need a training program. If you have one already, use it. Don't mix programs. If you need one, check out my website and grab one of the ones that I've designed, used on myself and used on my clients. And if you want better hips, check out my video hip mobility e-course, 16 videos long. It's only 29 bucks, and your hips are definitely worth $29. So until the next video, thanks and have a good one.